Welcome everyone to another one of the CCIR Spotlight interviews. Today I'm here with Bora, who's doing a project looking at machine learning and natural language processing, particularly in terms of code switching between Turkish and German. And so before we begin, I'd like to invite you to introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit more about your project in general.
Hello everyone, I'm Bora Demirok from Turkey. I'm an 11th, soon to be 12th grade student in Uskudar American Academy, and I would like to study electrical engineering or computer science in university. So I chose this topic, this research. To talk briefly about my research, I work with Dr. San from Cambridge University on natural language processing and machine learning. My research was on code switching. It was about machine detecting the sentence, which is in both Turkish and German, and it's predicting further upon it after I taught it. To talk about myself, I'm a half German and half Turkish person, so I know both languages. And after I did my research, I saw that there were not enough research on the topic, so it was quite interesting for me. I had a personal connection to the research as well. I tried to further improve upon the already done research. I used the UDFI parser that was already pre-built. I built some mixed sentences with both Turkish and German, and I tried to teach the machine. And I got the results, I evaluated it, and that's my research briefly.
Nice. So then coming back to, I guess, your inspiration being half Turkish and half German and seeing, as you said, I think that there were lots of resources in English, but then fewer resources with other languages. So is that something you find that you would like to improve upon? And then also when you were writing, so I guess for you in an everyday, are you often writing between Turkish and German and seeing the lack of technology out there to assist with this processing between two languages?
Yeah, the thing is that actually I cannot consider both Turkish and German as low resource languages. There are a lot of research done on the topic, but they're really surface level. There are a lot of research on it, but they didn't improve upon it. This really it was a big concern for both me and the professor, and we talked that code switching especially is an area that no research has been done, especially for Turkish and German. And as you know, there are a lot of Turkish immigrants living in Germany, so this is a big area. It has a big potential. So after seeing this, it really intrigued me. And yeah, I think that these technologies need to be done for other languages other than English as well. But of course, this is a new language, new technology, machine learning. Upon time, all these technologies will develop for all these languages.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. And as you say, yeah, there's a large Turkish-German population, so it's important to have these resources in place. So in terms of starting out your project with Dr. San, did you then start by looking at some of the surface level resources in Turkish and German, or did you delve deeper into some of the more in-depth resources for English? Or what was the initial process for you to gather some of the context ready to do your own research?
For the first 5 and 6 weeks, Dr. San taught us the basic principles of NLP, how the concepts work, and how can we improve upon it. And after we talked with her, she suggested me to continue with Turkish and German after I said that I'm a dual citizen. She taught us code switching and said that code switching is an area that not a lot of research has been done. So I can recommend this. So you can really broaden your vision as a whole and create a really new and incredible thing. After that, she gave me a couple of research papers to analyze. We analyzed the available Turkish resources for NLP, available German resources for NLP. There was a paper for code switching as well, but as I said, it was in the surface level. Yeah, after this 5 and 6 week of analyzing and selecting the research topic process, we delved into it. She suggested me a UDFI parser to teach the machine. It was quite hard to implement it for making work the dependencies and stuff. I tried to do that. It took like a 2-3 week process. And after that, I'm in the process of evaluating my results, my experiments, and that was my whole research process, I can tell.
Nice. And so what did you find in terms of the initial classes that you were having? What was a topic that really caught your interest, or what were the things that you think you learned most from taking part in those early days of teaching?
First of all, I want to say, like experiencing a college level, university level, and actually NLP is above undergraduate level. It's because it's specified a part of computer science. It was amazing for me to experience as a high school student. First of all, I want to say that, and to continue, like learning all the things on technologies, particularly there's maybe I can say part of speech tagging. In a sentence, as we all know, there's nouns, verbs, adverbs. After we teach the machine predicts which word is the verb, noun, adverb, or the object. This really intrigued me because we're at a level that machines can do this, as they can think like humans, and like delving deep into the technology behind this, the algorithms behind this, with the like great explanations from Dr. San. It was really interesting for me.
Yeah, and I mean, just incredible as well that you as a high school student were then, engaging with these resources and writing this code. It's very impressive that then you were doing your own research using these programs, which, as you say, are very high level and complex. And interesting as well that the computer is now able to do some of that grammatical analysis or picking out the roles of the words in the sentence. Because when it came to writing your own experiments or doing your own research, what were the main challenges that you found in terms of trying to create your own or program the machine yourself?
The implementation of the parser, the like machine learning, I can say it drove me crazy. There are a lot of dependencies. You need to work together. They always crash. Like you need to change your Python version. You need to change, there's like a lot of things to consider, and it really took 3 to 4 weeks, as I said earlier, to like only build the machine. That was the most challenging part. And about writing the paper, of course, I don't have a lot of experience on the topic. I'm only a high school student, but trying to learn this, getting to know the process of writing a research paper, which is a fundamental unit in like all the science community. It really gave me a sense, what can I do in university? And I think it really broadened my vision as a whole.
Would this be something that you would be interested in taking further in university?
Personally, I'm more interested in combining my engineering skills with humanitarian skills, maybe with business and stuff. I don't want to go down a route of like an academic route. Personally, it does not really interest me, but trying this from first hand, it was really amazing for me.
Cool. And how did you find the process of collaborating? I mean, you said that you learned a lot from working with Dr. San and that they were very helpful. But then also, as you said, you were struggling, or there were times when actually creating the research and writing the code was very difficult. So how did you find that then one-on-one mentorship and collaboration during the process?
It was really helpful. As I said, we talked the idea of the paper together. She gave me some papers to like read, to analyze. Without her, I couldn't like proceed this further, of course. And besides Dr. San, our TA really helped me as well. Our one-on-one sessions with TA Arun, after Dr. San taught us the basic principles of NLP, with our TA, we did coding stuff. He taught us how to like implement these stuff into real world, real computers, and seeing that really helped me in like creating my own machine and teaching my own machine. So I can say one-on-one sessions was an integral part for my research.
That's good to hear. Because when it came up to then writing it, obviously you said that it was interesting for you to experience for the first time writing up an academic research paper. What do you think were the biggest things that you learned as part of that, or that the kind of challenge you had to overcome? Because I know from personal experience, the first time you're writing up a university paper, there's thinking about the structure and it's a different type of language. So for you, what do you think were the key lessons that you'd take away from doing that task?
First of all, it was amazing because I had to think thoroughly about every word I say. Like you have a limited space, it cannot be that long, and it's really nothing like a high school paper. Every word you say have to have a meaning. And in the context of computer science, there are a lot of like terminologies, especially in NLP. I had to learn those. And the structure of NLP papers, the evaluation of machine learning like experiments, I had to learn those from the scratch as well. That was the most hard. That was my most challenging parts of writing the process. But as I said, it really gave me a first-hand experience, and it was amazing.
Because talking of language, I'd be interested to know, as part of your experiment, you were using sentences with both Turkish and German in them to see if the computer could identify the languages. But then to get these sentences, were these constructed based on previous research, or did you use sentences that you had used in your everyday life? What sort of phrases were you giving the computer to analyze?
To talk about it, in the University of Stuttgart, there was a Turkish professor on the area of NLP. She was half Turkish, half German as well. Her research really, as I credited in my paper as well, really like paved the way for me. She already had a pre-built data set. It was quite small, but that gave me an idea of how to create the data set and what kind of like sentences to give the parser in order to teach. It was, I think, like 450 sentences. I added a little bit more sentences in order to teach the machine. Yeah, it was from basic day lives. Half of them was actually taken from Twitter, because in social media, you don't have to work. It's already there. So it's really quite a save of time. And half of them were like daily language. How are you? What are you doing? But they were mixed Turkish and German in order to teach the machine.
Wow. So, yeah, it's cool getting some of your research resources from Twitter and putting social media to good use. And then also being able to combine the two languages. Because what did you find? Was the computer then able to learn the difference or be able to code switch between Turkish and German? Or is that still something you're looking at analyzing your data research?
I'm still analyzing. The evaluation part takes time as well. I'm trying to like put the things on a scale, on a graph. I'm trying to compare it with pre-made research. How was the machine doing and how my experiment did. I'm still on the process of analyzing my data.
Well, and yeah, I'm interested to hear about the results when they're ready. But then for you as well, how did you find working on this project? Because it's about teaching a machine to code switch between Turkish and German, which is something that, as someone who is half Turkish and half German, I imagine you're doing naturally in your head most days of your life.
Yeah, as I said earlier, our computers are the brains now. You just mentioned I already do it in my head every time. When I go to Germany, when I see a relative of mine who's half German, half Turkish, my head automatically does this. Maybe in the future, 50, 100 years from now, I will not have to do that. Machine will automatically give it to me. Our current technology is not enough for this, as I said earlier. Things like Google Translate or text mining, text mining, artificial intelligence like ChatGPT, they're really developed and developing every day, but they're really not, it cannot be comparable to our human minds. I hope in the future they could be better.
Interesting, yeah, to see how far technology could go in terms of language processing and what it could achieve. But then in terms of kind of your own, back to your brain for a moment, having taken part in this research project, were there any lessons that you think you would take away to use in the future, whether or not you go into academic research, in terms of your own personal growth or approaches to projects like this?
Yeah, time management was the basic, the most integral thing I got out from this. With the professor, this week you're going to create a data set. This week you're going to create the parser. This week you're going to teach it. Like this time management, this research project really taught me intensive time management skills. And for everybody doing a paper in this level, it's a mandatory thing to have. And above all, as I said earlier, as a high school student learning about college level lessons, it really elevated me.
Yeah, and hopefully the time management skills will come in handy when you make the high school to college transition or off to university.
Yeah.
Cool, because then as well, obviously you had the lessons you take away from being part of the project personally. Are there any also things that you might bear in mind in the future in terms of use of technology or particular skills that might be transferable to other projects? And obviously machine coding being a key one there, but any other key skills that you think you've picked up from the project?
Yeah, before this, I had no idea about machine learning. I only knew that humans had the chance to teach machines. I didn't know how could we teach it, like how does it happen. But after this, I learned the whole process of teaching machines, how to implement a machine on my own computer as well, in a level so basic. As a high school student, I can teach myself. The technology level is here. And this basic knowledge of machine learning, I think, as a person who's interested in artificial intelligence myself, in the university, as a person who wants to study engineering as well, I can use this as my advantage. Maybe after my undergraduate levels, I can pursue a career in artificial intelligence.
Wow. Yeah. And what's most impressive, I think, is that you did all of this whilst still being a high school student and not at university yet. And how was that for you, I guess, trying to balance both the research project alongside your normal studies?
At the first, it was really hard. And considering the levels of the lectures, as I said earlier, in the first 5 or 6 weeks, Dr. San taught us the basic things about NLP. So lectures was really intensive. It was 1 hour, but it felt like 4-5 hour lectures. After I got out of lessons, wow, how can I study further on it? And besides my normal school studies, I needed to work on the lectures that Dr. San taught us. As I said, the time management skills came in handy here. I think I did a pretty good job in balancing these, but of course it was hard. But when the school closed and the summer came, I really had time to focus on my research. So my efficiency increased incredibly. So it was quite a luck for me.
Nice, because then, yeah, in terms of finishing off the project, obviously you're still in the evaluation stage, and then I guess there's writing up the paper in full, or what's left for you in terms of completing the project?
Yeah, I got the experiments. I need to evaluate, as I said, and write. I wrote the paper into a stage now. I need to write the evaluation paper and look at it one last time, sharpen it up in its final condition. I think I could be done in 2 or 3 weeks on my paper.
Good news to hear, and then you'll be ready to share it with the wider world.
Yeah, I hope so.
Wonderful. We'll be looking forward to that, to seeing what comes out. So I think that's all we've got time for today, but I want to say thank you very much for talking to me and for telling me a bit more about what you've been up to. It's been very interesting to hear about your research as someone who's very into languages myself, to hear about even machines or computers learning to code switch between the two.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me.